If this bus had a voice, it would be yelling at the younger coaches to respect their elders. And for good reason, because this bus is not trying to prove anything. It is a 2005 Holiday Rambler Navigator, 43-footer with a tag axle, and it has a lot to teach us. So around front, we have a one-piece windshield, but not any one-piece windshield. This one kind of wraps around and has a sort of bubble look, and it gives you a bubble feel out the front of the coach, if that makes any sense. Now down below, we have a 10,000 watt Onan quiet diesel generator, and of course, the bus is equipped with an automatic gen start system and an inverter. But this generator will slide out on a hydraulic gen slide. Now you might be wondering what that little rectangular box is in that stainless steel aluminum bumper piece. This is one of many sensors related to the Eaton Vorad active cruise control system. Now this system will maintain a certain distance behind whatever's traveling in front of you. So if some car pulls in front of you on the highway, it will maintain a distance that you can control. Now not only will it provide you active cruise control, which by the way takes away so much stress in driving a bus, but it also will warn you if a car is stopping quickly or something is stopping quickly in your path, which can be extremely important and is why this system is called a collision avoidance system. On top of that, it will let you know how close you are getting to things because it has sensors down the sides of the coach, and it will illuminate these lights to show you how close you are on the left and right side of your coach. And when you indicate, it will also serve as a blind spot detection system, letting you know and warning you if there's someone in your blind spot while you're indicating. It's an absolutely extraordinary system that levels up the driving experience. These beautiful Velvac triple stack mirrors with built-in cameras. This mirror, and both mirrors actually, are finished in this chrome material, and they have 3 separate mirrors on them. This is an excellent setup and honestly eliminates the need for having side cameras. But they do exist and they do come on automatically when you indicate. So some of the utility bays on this coach have these gorgeous little locks, and you'll see more of that around back. But now this does have polished aluminum wheels, and they are AccuRide polished aluminum wheels, which I think just shine a little better. I could be a little biased. The American Eagles had these same wheels. And we're about to install brand new tires on the front. However, all of the tires that are currently on it, even though they have a date code of 2014 and were probably installed sometime in 2015, have no dry rot cracks and are probably good for another year or so. I had no problem trusting these tires to take me over 4 hours away. But at the same time, front tires are not to be trifled with, so the coach will have brand new front tires installed before it hits the road. And I have to say, on the road, the coach performed excellently. And hearing that turbo noise pulling out of the campground, everyone couldn't help but look at what sounded like a turbojet passing by. The sound is thrilling.
Definitely the king of turbos. The turbo noise is quite amazing.
So down in the middle of the coach, you'll notice that we're hooked into a 50 amp power supply. And that 50 amp power supply is on an electric reel, so it's push button. And we also have a city water connection, a hose on a reel that you can use to fill the tank or get city pressure for the plumbing. And that is also on an electric reel. Holiday Rambler calls it sea mist. I call it gorgeous. It's one of those unique colors that you don't really see on many other buses. The more you look at it and the more time you spend with the whole coach, the more you fall in love with it. On the trip I took, I had multiple people appalled at this coach's age. It's a high quality paint job, and there is some paint checking in it, but that's to be expected on a coach this age, especially a Monaco Holiday Rambler product. And interestingly, they actually had a PGA Tour version of this coach. It's kind of weird. It had its own paint job. It had PGA Tour and the glass in the shower. It is pretty unique, interestingly, but I'm kind of glad that this is not a PGA Tour edition, that the colors were, Yeah, I don't think they worked very well. These colors are spot on. So in the very back corner on the driver's side of this coach is where we have our huge side radiator. And it's covered in this painted grille that goes beautifully with the bus. It looks so slick. It gives it a nice look, especially the fact that it's all painted. It accents that radiator very nicely. And you can see some of the support beams in the superstructure up there, which brings me to another point. All of the upper walls and the roof are all tubular steel. It has a built-in firewall in the front. It's a very safe coach. This is sort of like a Mercedes S-Class. And that brings me to yet another point. The new Navigators, the 2020 ones, the whatever 2015 Navigators, are not to be compared in the slightest to what this is. This is one of the most legendary coaches outside the Prevost bus world. And you know what? Including the Prevost bus world. One of those big reasons I say that is not only is this the 10 airbag Roadmaster S chassis, a custom chassis from Monaco, but this has the Detroit Series 60 in the back. And this one has been tuned to 575 horsepower. That means that this also has the 4,000 Allison transmission. But that Detroit Series 60 is an absolute gem in a bus like this. There's really not that many coaches that have it outside a Prevost bus. You know what? Instead of sit here and ramble about how amazing this engine is, it does make almost 1,700 foot-pound of torque. It's very powerful, and it makes this bus a little rocket ship, and it's super nice with the Eaton Vorad system. Let you listen in to some of the beautiful noises that this engine will make. So around back, if you're familiar with the Holiday Rambler Navigator, you might recognize this rear end, and that's because they've used this rear end for a very long time on the Navigator. When you look at this, it's like looking at the rear end of a Rolls Royce. So let's go right up to this engine hatch, and we will operate very satisfying locks. Automatic traction control. It does have 6-wheel automatic traction control. You know, it's something to brag about at the time. Who cares about that stuff? That is the Crown Gem, which has been freshly serviced and was owned by a gentleman who knew how to maintain a coach. I have seen the coaches he has owned in the past, and they have been extremely well maintained. This coach clearly has been, and the Detroit Series 60 is good for 800,000 to 1.1 million miles. Yeah, this is a very well maintained bus, and I have to make sure that this lines up right. Don't want to nick any paint. These are so satisfying. Now up top, you'll notice not only is our little backup camera hidden there in the bodywork and the piece of fiberglass, but we have 2 very bright dock lights. So you flick those on and it will absolutely light up whatever's behind you. Which is terrific when you want to see what's behind you backing up your coach. And they angle downward, which keeps them out of other people's eyes and allows you just to illuminate whatever's behind you or whatever you're pulling. And down here around the taillights, we have these nice little pieces of stainless steel. I think they go very well with the coach. And guess what? It has a ladder. It's not too uppity to not have a ladder. You can actually climb up on the back of your coach, which I appreciate greatly. Now back here, you'll notice we have tag axle here. It does have a lift, so you flick a switch in the coach and it will dump this tag axle and relieve the pressure off the tires so you don't drag them around while making really sharp turns. Drive axle is right here, and we have another dock light here, and there's a matching set on the other side to light up the sides of the coach. The patio and entrance awning are both built by Gerard, and the fabric that they have matches the paint perfectly, and it's pretty unique, and they're in excellent condition. Now, all of the window awnings are also in good shape, and they are all electric on this bus. Now, before we step inside this beautiful coach, I want to point out one last thing, and that is this flush step. So this is not only a very sturdy step when you step on it, it slides in and is painted, and it makes the body look more flush than a regular step. Now right here we have keyless entry, and we do have the code, which is quite shocking on a coach this age, but we have the code, so this does work. Keyless entry is terrific. Let's step inside. The cabin space will encapsulate you in solid woods, beautiful tiling, new carpet, nice appliances, and a whole lot more. When it's all said and done, this coach sets a standard rarely achieved when it comes to being able to surround you with comfort at the campsite and on the road. When the slides are closed is when this coach really outshines most new coaches. I was very impressed with this coach, and I am still very impressed with this interior. Up in the front, we have a TCL TV. It's a 51-inch TCL Roku TV, so you can easily get Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all your good stuff quite easily. As you can see, we have Prime Video launched right now. And the cool thing about this TV is that it flips down. So when it is up, you have all the headspace you could ever dream of in the front of a bus. Here, you can stand all the way in the corner of that tile. That is pretty rare. The use of wood in this coach is very heavy, and it goes a long way. Prepare to hear me talk about the wood way too much in this coach, but it truly is amazing. And the feel it gives the entire interior is that everything is incredibly well built, but also built with a purpose to last a long time and be a solid interior from a fundamental perspective. Now right here in the galley space, we have a sea of Corian. And in the back, we have a gorgeous backsplash that matches perfectly with the rest of the Corian countertops. Now down below this piece right here, we have a Princess dual burner electric stovetop. I have cooked a couple things on here. It actually works quite nice. It's a great system, it's a great flat top, and it's one of the things that allows this to be an all-electric coach. Another one of those things is the Aqua Hot, and I'm mentioning the Aqua Hot now because the controls for that are right here. We have our 110 Aqua Hot control and our Aqua Hot diesel burner on the right of that. You also have a water pump control and a couple lights. So these buttons, as you will see when we walk through this coach, are extremely satisfying to operate. They have a good click, they have nice backlighting, and they are extremely straightforward. They honestly make me question why we have all this complicated stuff in these newer coaches. They really, sometimes they don't add to the whole experience. You need something that's just well thought out. Now right here we have our sink, and this is a dual sink, hard surface. Corian color goes perfectly with it. You have a nice soap dispenser back here. What's cool about these is when you put them up, you have all the countertop space back, but you could only have one if you wanted to, and just have one little sink to wash your hands. It just depends on the application. And if you want even more countertop space, we have an extra little pull out that comes out of here. Yep. So you have a nice L-shaped kitchen, and you want to keep this kind of flush, and you still have storage down in it as well. And as you can see, all this is solid wood. Again, not thin crap. They finished these pieces out beautifully. Look at this, it's even carpeted. And all this back here is solid wood as well. Drawers here, check out this piece. If you want to store, quickly and easily store your inserts here, you have a little rack on the left there. That works perfectly to get them out of the way. And this is a solid wood slide out cabinet. And this is just a very well built little system here. And you can see the two racks. I mean, look at that. Look at how substantial those are. That's made to take some weight. That's not a joke. That's not a little flimsy piece. And this is just a beautiful piece of wood that they put in. And look at that. It has a hidden latch as well. Actually, a lot of drawers in this coach have that. So see, most cabinets, they have these little pieces, right? And that's to snap it closed. But as you'll see when we go in the back, those drawers have what these drawers have. It's built into the slider. So back here, more cabinet space, and oh wow, we have some mac and cheese left in here. That comes free of charge. That'll just sweeten the deal right there. So again, huge storage. You can adjust these racks. It's carpeted, and yeah, look at this. I always love this walking by this piece because not only is this all solid wood. Look at this is just like this huge block here, and it's all beautifully rounded and just beautifully made. Even these pieces up here, It's I can't get over that. The usage of wood in this coach is excellent. So right here we have a residential refrigerator. It's a Whirlpool Gold. It has a built-in ice maker as well as filtered water, and it's a household size. What can I say? It works excellently. You can easily adjust the temperatures, and again, one of those things that allows us to delete the propane. So all you do is take this piece out. You have a substantial Coolmatic built-in exhaust fan. It has a huge shroud over on the top. It's constantly there. This is built simply to exhaust air. It's perfect to have it in a kitchen. And the control for it is right here. You can even set the thermostat. So it does have a built-in thermostat, like a nice high-end fantastic fan, but you can also just turn it on if you want. So Holiday Rambler Monaco products, they're high-end ones. They always come with like a nice exhaust fan like this. Now, we're gonna move into where you eat the food after we've covered where you prepare the food. And I get distracted on little details, but this is an important detail. 2 locks. So there's one right here, and who knows, that could have been put on later, or this one could have been put on later. But I like the fact that there's 2 locks because you might build up some serious weight in there, but it allows you to keep serious weight in there. That's another question. Maybe you can put serious weight in a location in an RV, but guess what? That RV's got to go down the road. So you better be making sure that that stuff's not going to cause any havoc. That allows you to store heavy things and not even think about it. Now right here, again, just huge block of wood, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing, just put it there. Oh yeah, build it all out of wood, just everything. Beautiful little dinette. Large windows that all have built-in screens. And by the way, all the windows have day and night shades. But this is built out of Corian. It can turn into a bed, and it still has storage under here. All solid wood. And guess what? Locks. Serious locks. So again, and there's some resistance to these too. So it's not like they're just totally freestanding. Look how big that is. Beautiful wall lights here. The fabric and material is actually in excellent condition. There is some wear. Look, it's an 05. If you come here expecting this to be a 2021, don't even call me. There is no such thing, first of all, as a perfect coach. Even the new ones have flaws. But if you're looking at a used bus like this, you can't expect perfection. When you go look at the bus, when you interact with the coach, when you look at it, touch it, feel it, smell it, how does it stack up? And then we can focus on maintenance records, which, by the way, we have a lot of maintenance records on the coach. We have a lot of maintenance records on the coach. They're right up there in that compartment because it's one of those things that does add value to a coach. But my point is, maintenance records aside, you need to walk up to a coach and assess what is it like. Now right over here, we have a nice little Euro recliner that's extremely comfortable. It's a nice little spot. We have Corian that surrounds this entire area, and this can operate as a desk. So electrical wires can go down through there. You can have a printer down on the bottom if you want. Open this up, beautiful piece of wood, free pen, comes free of charge. Stays like that, and you interestingly have another little storage compartment over here on the left. But this is a great spot to work. I was editing videos on my laptop in this coach. It works beautifully. We have another outlay. I mean, this is pretty serious. You could have a pretty big setup here if you want it. You could add screens. I mean, you could have a serious little desk here or whatever you want. Yeah, all right. Oh, Apple Pencil, that's mine. I gotta get this out of here. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave it right there so I don't forget. Huge drawer, and again, this locks in place. I actually stored my laptop and other electronics, as you see, in there because I knew it could lock and it wouldn't fly out and go anywhere. And then, guess what? Because this is a Class A, and I'm connected to my bus all the time, I would pull off on the side of the road in a rest area when I got tired and sit right there and edit. You get up from here, it would be turned. Stand, well maybe unbuckle, maybe not, depends on what's going on, and sit right there, and you're in your workstation. I mean, it's just amazing. There were times where I stopped on the road and stretched, and guess what that brings me to? Can you guess? You probably can. It brings me to another point. Another point that newer coaches have lost. What have they lost, you might ask? Many things, and they've gained many things. Let's be fair here. I like new coaches as well, all right? That's just the real thing. The question is, what do you want? But here's something that has certainly been lost on the new coaches, and that is interior space when the slides are closed. Right now, we have this grand amount of space, huge, quad slides, plenty of space. You could have many people in here and be very comfortable. absolutely massive bedroom. Everything's huge. Guess what? What happens when the slides come in? They take up space. Slides take space. They have to come in and go somewhere. New coaches have a tendency, especially with those big full wall slides, at being absolutely grand and huge when they're open, and almost like a fifth wheel when the slides are closed. And that's an insult to a Class A, but some of them are really bad. I mean, I've been in coaches where it's literally like this to get into the bathroom. You gotta get past, and you can't open the fridge all the way. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This coach has an incredible, in fact, it's one of the strong points about this floor plan is when the slides are closed, you have a huge walkway to access the entire coach, and you even have some bedroom space. That's right. You can shut the door on the bedroom and you have a bedroom with the slides closed. Full access to the bathroom, everything. There's huge space in here. It makes an incredible difference when you're on the road. You're so much more comfortable when you're on the road. You just pull over, you have good space still. And this coach has that. It's one of many things on this bus that will make you fall in love with it. And before we move on to the bathroom and the master suite in the back, which is something to brag about on this coach, I do want to point out that that has a hidden queen size air mattress. So this is a comfortable couch. And by the way, I don't care what you have to say about this design or style of it. I really don't care what you have to say. It is very comfortable. I absolutely love this couch. I wouldn't touch it. It's comfortable. It is in good shape. If you really wanted to recover it, you could. It would probably update the look in here. But the couch itself is very comfortable. Classic Holiday Rambler spec. But queen size air mattress underneath. All you do is open this up, pull it out, blow it up, and that's that. You have a queen size air mattress. And by the way, this window right here has a beautiful little Corian piece. It just makes it look a lot better. Looks a lot nicer with that there. Let's go into the master suite and the master bathroom. It's pretty large. Now keep in mind, this stays this size 24/7 with the slides closed. Now this is a pretty sizable space. We have this thick tile in here. The tile is absolutely gorgeous. It has this nice texturing on it. They're little pieces of inlay that look beautiful. Here we have a huge Corian sink, gorgeous little backsplash. And I like this built-in toothbrush holder, all made out of a metal so you can quickly, easily disinfect it, which by the way, I've already gone through and done. And this is a nice little vanity, 3 mirrors, with a little tapering on the ends here, which I know makes these cost a lot more. And they all have beautiful medicine cabinet space. It makes huge amount of space back there, and it gives you a great view of yourself. Now, there's also a lot of storage down below, and again, just big pieces of solid wood where they really didn't have to do it. I mean, how many times are you gonna notice that that's solid wood? But I tell you what, it's one of the details that you do notice, and that adds and contributes to the grand scheme of things, and that's what Holiday Rambler, I think, was one of the best at doing. Now, this is a shower, and I just want to close this real quick. And please ignore the smudges. I can't stand the fact that this mirror is not clean, but it isn't. But that brings me to a quick point before we move on to that. Look at these locks. They're some of the most, I mean, that feels, I was telling my dad, it feels like an old Porsche. If you shut an old Porsche door, they're like this. You actually need to give it some force to close it. And this is a big, solid wood piece here. It's not some little hanging on a, that's shut. And let me tell you as well, guess what? That will stay shut while you're driving. I can attest to that. That will, how many pocket doors can stay shut? There, remember that some of the old school ones had those stupid little latch? Oh, it's infuriating. Same for this massive piece of chunk of wood. Same lock. In this one, you really gotta shut it. Now here's our shower. Massive shower. It does have Corian walls, beautiful stone inlay with these granite pieces making a flower that goes along here. It's absolutely gorgeous. It makes the shower so much nicer. And look at this, built-in Corian, solid so pieces. Cool. Why? There's simple things that the showers need. This is one of them. You can actually have your shampoo and body, you can have stuff in here and travel with it. Another little rack there. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. By the way, I've disinfected this entire thing, cleaned it all out from underneath. Look at this centerpiece here. This is a piece of Corian too. They could have been cheap and put like a seal or something. This is a piece. This is all tempered glass. And it is on a roller with a magnet shut and an emergency shut as well, which I really like. You don't want to break one of these. Travel lock. Solid shower. Brand new skylight, by the way. This skylight's new, and it allows a beautiful amount of light in here. It's quite terrific, actually, in the morning. So if you're a morning shower person, you will absolutely love this shower. Oh, and guess what? But this looks new. This does not look original. This could be, but you know what? I don't know. All of the faucets are the same, so they might have been updated along the way, all of this stuff. Oh yeah, and unlimited hot water is pretty nice. Hook up to gray, open it up. You can leave that shower on all day the hot all the way blasting, and it'll give you steaming hot water until you run out of diesel fuel. Or you can use the electric element, which will give you, and I know this personally, will give you a solid. I actually didn't run it out. I stayed in the shower for 30, 40 minutes, and it did not run out. So it's a pretty impressive electric hot water system as well, which by the way doubles as an electric furnace system in addition to your 3 heat pumps. But you can have your electric, this is another great thing about the Aqua Hot, is it allows you to use electricity from your campsite to give you furnace. The Aqua Hot system cycles through the engine, which allows you to collect heat from the engine, which means on the road you will have hot water and you'll have full coach furnace heat just coming from the engine. So bedroom space, let's talk. This is a huge space, and it's huge even when you have the slides closed. But right now the slides are open, and when you first walk in here, you don't really notice it until you turn around, but especially with that door shut, you just have a sea of wood. It has been put on, even on this, and around, I mean, it's everywhere. Everywhere carpet would be in this coach, you have new carpet. All up on the walls, they did not cheap out anywhere. All next to the bed. This makes a massive difference. It's even back here covering this box. And we do have access to the top of our engine, so nice little locks here. You can open up and access the engine. Now, while we're back here, let's talk about this wardrobe, which is huge and has some of the best locks you can get. It's double locked, first of all, and lights. Very, very well lit. This is a cedar piece here. You've got more storage over there on the left in a rack, and there's even a vent. So, I mean, you can close this vent off if you don't want to, but if you're worried about it getting too hot back here, you can keep it cool with your air. I feel air. By the way, all the ductwork is connected, so we don't have a rear air on right now. There's 3 airs, but it's still blowing out of here. So all your 3 airs will share together because they're sophisticated that way. They have venting throughout the coach. Real quick before we move on from this wardrobe, let me turn the lights off so I don't forget that, is you can access it from both sides. So it's really big actually. Let me grab that camera and show you in here. Look at this. Huge. Huge. Huge, yeah. So, all right, so real talk. Back here, how is it accessing the bed with this box here, okay? So, I am 5'11", 6 foot, and right now I'm standing straight up, and the only reason is because I'm in this little gap here with this beautiful Alcantara piece. I can stand here, and I have to duck a little to walk, okay? I did sleep on this side of the bed, and I also slept on that side of the bed, but I did sleep on this side of the bed, and it was no problem for me at all. I didn't really notice it. I do notice it right now because I'm purposely talking about it and I'm standing in it. But if you're going to bed, you don't really notice it. Now, if you're any shorter than me, this will be absolutely no problem. If you're taller, sleep on that side. But my point is, even if you are tall, it's still really not that big of a deal that some people make it out to be. This is all solid wood. Everything you look at. All this radio, this plastic radio is mounted in a solid wood piece. You also have, guess what? Another access point to your Aladdin system. You can check tanks. You can even look at your cameras. That's right, you have a built-in camera system, and you can access it while laying in bed. This allows you to make sure that you're not getting robbed, or that the pizza delivery guy is at the front door. That can serve many purposes that are all equally important. Now before we move on, oh yeah, washer dryer. How can I forget that? So you have a made in Italy. Wow, it's a Ferrari of washer dryers. Beautiful washer dryer combo.
Storage up on top, big one.
Guess what? It works. I know it works.
Oh, that's good.
It works actually pretty beautifully. I PDI'd it. I gave it a very thorough PDI. Yeah, and I checked back here too. These are all your main breakers. Front AC, inverters, leg 2, leg 1. Huge storage here. Absolutely massive. All carpeted with adjustable shelves. So you can adjust these to whatever height you need. They're not set in stone. You can easily adjust them. Down here we have the original bedspread, which is hideous. But it is here, and it's clean because no one's ever used it. But lots of storage, again, adjustable racks. And these are the drawers. Is that cedar? I can't tell if that's cedar. That could be cedar. I could be also wrong. But it feels and just looks like cedar. But these drawers are all very well built. These have the hidden locks that I was mentioning. So the locks are nowhere to be seen here, right? It's just clean. It's a drawer, but when you push it in, it locks itself. And we have 6 of them right here. This one is one of my favorites. Oh, I still have some clothes in there. Little hamper, whatever you want to use it as. It's a huge drawer, and it has a nice lock. Yeah, so we now have a nice 32-inch TV here. Same thing as the front, updated at the same time. TCL, Roku, I actually have Dexter playing on it. It's paused right now because I had paused for so long. And you can connect it to your Wi-Fi on your phone, so you can be anywhere and watch TV, anywhere, as long as you have service. We also have the, oh my gosh, that cannot be still plugged in. If it is, that's hilarious. This is worth gold. Before we move on from here, there's so many things, there's so many little details I want to mention, little things that are everywhere. So I have to hold back what I want to say. I'm looking at things, I'm holding back mentioning things. So we're not going to do that. But in here, a really interesting system. You open this up, you have these little racks here. So they slide back. I think Liberty Coach copied Holiday Rambler here. So right here, huge drawers, lots of drawer systems, another little lock drawer, drawers down here, there's 2 drawers here, and this piece actually slides out.
Wow.
I don't think I knew this last time we had this bus.
Man, no.
Yeah, so this
I
has,
didn't know it.
yeah, this has a little slide out piece here, and so you could have another desk here. And actually, originally this coach had a chair back here. I don't know when we sold it. When we sold it the first time, we had the chair.
Yeah.
He took it out, which honestly, yes, I agree. Why? It's a little weird
You
with
could
the.
have like a reading chair.
But you could have a fold-out, comfortable chair and have another desk, or whatever you want this to be. You could make it your personal vanity if you wanted. Yeah, there's a lot of potential here, especially with all this intricate and unique storage. It's not just drawers. So you could do something
Power,
very.
roadside has a power.
Oh, that's right, that's right. It's kind of set up for a desk. I forgot about that. You've got power. Look at it. 4 outlets, 2. Is that Ethernet or is that? It looks like Ethernet. It looks like Cat 5.
If you had a DSL and it's got 12-volt cigarette lighter.
Yep.
Crazy.
It is. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's really set up to be a proper second desk back here. But again, many possibilities. Power outlets for your hair curlers, for your hair dryers, for whatever, you know. So you've got many options to play around with this cabinet. It's own light. It's all built out of wood. It's a beautiful. That completes our tour today. We're gonna go do one of the best parts on a bus. And one of the most important things, I think, on a bus, how does it drive? And before we answer that question, how does it sit? So when you're in the cockpit, I want all the buttons laid out in a nice manner that's easy to access and easy to remember. This is a tricky balance for any manufacturer to get right, let alone an RV manufacturer. I think they really did a nice job up here. All the gauges are quite nice to look at. The buttons are laid out in a way that does make sense. So you have this little deck of buttons that are on a second level down below, and these buttons are ones that you wouldn't be touching as much. Things like automatic traction control, your dock lights, things like that. Now up above that, we have another level of buttons, and this is where your exhaust brake is located, the high and low on the exhaust brake, mirror adjustments, the transmission control. So this is a bus that once you're used to the chassis is one of the best riding coaches around. For the passenger, the ride quality is superb. It passed with flying colors in Kaya's mind. She really enjoyed driving in this bus, and she's driven, or she has ridden in a lot of different buses. From the driver's perspective, it's a unique riding coach, and Roadmaster S chassis are Roadmaster S chassis. There's nothing that rides like them. And with the Series 60 behind you, it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, this thing can really put it down. And the steering is very nice. It's a good balance between feel. It really makes you a good bus driver. And RVs like this, buses like this that do require some attention to get used to them. And then once you get used to them, they become excellent and soulful and amazing from many different dimensions and perspectives. Those are the best chassis, and those are the chassis to die for in a coach. And then add to it that our drivetrain is one of the best around, you really can't ask for much more. It does take a little bit of time to get used to this Roadmaster S chassis, but I tell you what, getting used to it is absolutely worth it. It's worth it. The Detroit Series 60 and the drivetrain is pretty much unmatched for the most part in the RV industry. This is about the best you can get. Series 60, 4000 Allison. We have all the stuff you want, like side cameras and rear cameras and all the tech, but the chassis is what needs to bring the drivetrain together. What else does this have that really differentiates it from most other RVs on the road, aside from maybe newer coaches? The active cruise control and collision avoidance system does. This coach will let you know, and I know because I've driven this coach on the highway a good bit, if someone is slowing down significantly in front of you, it'll start warning you. And let me tell you, that is an amazing feature, okay? That, I cannot tell you how valuable that is. And until you've driven an RV and you've driven enough miles to be in a situation where you have to hit the brakes pretty hard, you will never know the value of that. That system can prove to be invaluable and the most amazing feature on the bus. It's also a blind spot detection system, and it takes cruise control a step beyond, because you know, in cruise control, when you get in traffic, you have to deal with set and resume and all this stuff. But with the active cruise control, it will maintain a distance between the car, and you can set that distance, a huge distance if you want to. And that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, so this is an excellent coach, and I really enjoy how this front end, and Roadmasters had their own design for the front end using a box setup with 4 airbags. And I don't know, the front end just feels so satisfying when it handles curves. It's just the perfect balance. You know, you feel the difference when you're in a bus of how far in front of the front end you are. And you know, manufacturers will put you at different points, and that can affect how the coach, it definitely affects how the coach feels. I am in front of the axle, and I'm aware of that, but I'm not way out in front of the axle. There's a good balance there, and I think Holiday Rambler and Roadmaster, they absolutely nailed this chassis. And I have to keep an eye on my maps because we're actually taking it right now, as you can see, to Snyder's Tire. And look at the coach, look what it has done. It has, I hope you can see my feet. I haven't touched anything, but it has realized that there's a truck in front of me. So what you just saw was the Eaton Vorad system recognizing that we were coming up fast on that truck right in front of me. It made a beeping noise and it cut power. I didn't touch anything, but it slowed us down. And as you can see, our speed is varying right now because his speed is varying. We did have cruise control set at over about 65 miles an hour. And right now we're varying from about 60 to 65 because that's what he's doing. The coach is parked right behind him. I didn't have to touch anything. And if I wasn't paying attention at all, instead of wrecking into that truck, this thing saved me. And it warned me. So right now, let me give you a quick demonstration. I'm gonna drop my following distance here, or my range. Actually, I'm decreasing my range. So the coach will move closer now to that truck. I'm just increasing my speed to make sure I have enough speed to catch up, you know, because it'll operate within that threshold. Now let me turn up the distance. And this is when the coach will drop back. So as you can see now, we're losing speed. We're coming up on our exit here, but I really want to demonstrate how we're losing speed, we're losing speed. He is now starting to move away from us. It's increasing the distance, right? We've slowed down to under 60 miles an hour here. Now watch, the coach is slowly picking up to 62 because it doesn't want to drop. The coach will also recognize, the system is pretty smart. It will recognize if someone cuts you off and is going fast, it won't just slam on the brakes, okay? It knows how fast people are going in front of you. It's a very smart and intelligent system. Keep recording, I want these shots.
I gotta be better at this thing.
Got the steering wheel in it a little bit?
Yeah, I did have it, but I wanted to get the other motor home in it.
Okay, good. Now get more of the, like the road and the steering wheel. There's a whale, please. That thing is heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, but I hate how much it fucking moves.
Let it move, that's fine. It's a stabilizer. So it's okay to move a little bit. Don't worry about that at all. That's what it's made to do. It's made to move around. I know yeah, look at that. It saw that car and it was
It's
it's actually really sleek. It's a really slick system.